Do you worry a lot about your future? Do you realize that most things you worry about are never going to happen, and that these thoughts are an unhealthy and negative time waster? And also that telling yourself to stop worrying doesn't work at all? How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. If you're a guy like me that worries a lot about what might happen in the future, then this book will easily make you enjoy your life 10 times as much. Not only that worry is a huge time waster, in most cases it is unrealistic and makes you a person with one of these everything is negative aura around them. And not only that, moreover, worry actually makes you sick. Good quality sleep is one of the most important factors, if not the most important factor, to stay healthy and not getting sick. Sleep deprivation is a huge growing problem in our fast-paced and hectic society. And what is statistically the biggest problem when it comes to falling asleep? Lying in bed worrying about some stupid stuff. So this book will even make you healthier. And I want to show you the 3 best tips to stop worrying and start living. I used to worry a lot about everything, especially about being judged. I don't really know why, but getting judged seems worse for me than for other people. When I had to go to a job interview, I worried so much that I couldn't sleep all night. Not only for 1, but often for 2 nights before the interview. By the way guys, guess how mentally fit I was during the job interview when I had not slept in 50 hours? The doctor of course gave me some pills. The book gave me a technique. The technique is called Stay Busy. Simple as that. Your brain cannot focus on 2 things at the same time. If it worries, it is because it has nothing else of importance to do. Try it. You cannot worry about some future event and solve an equation at the same time. So I decided to do all the job interview preparation at the beginning, and then I scheduled my whole week before the interview in advance, so I would stay busy and simply would not have time to worry. For me, this works every time when there is some very worthy event coming. The next technique can be a bit tricky, but if done right, it stops worrying altogether. Back in school, the thing I worried most about was that I might have to repeat a grade at school because of my bad grades. By the way guys, I was a very bad student in school, and today my favorite activity is learning new stuff. I think that's the irony of life. However, in school I was worrying about repeating a grade at school almost every day. I remember worrying and almost panicking on one specific day, on which my family took me and a friend of mine to my favorite amusement park. I remember worrying while I was trying to fall asleep the day before we went to the amusement park. I remember worrying while showering in the morning and on the way to the park. And also I remember worrying about repeating a grade in school while waiting in line for the attractions. I remember me in the park thinking, this should be a fun day. Actually, this should be the best day of the year. And I'm standing here worrying, feeling bad and feeling self-pity. The technique that I should have used back then is called prepare yourself mentally to accept the worst. Back then I worried about things like, when I have to repeat a grade in school I will lose a whole year, and later everyone will be able to see it on my resume that it took me an extra year to finish school. I will lose all my friends and might not like my new classmates. What will my parents and the rest of my family think of me? And so on. But with this technique you have to ask yourself, what is the worst case scenario? What is the worst that can possibly happen if I can't solve my problem? After you have found the answer, you have to prepare yourself mentally to accept the worst if necessary. In my example, that would have been asking myself, what is the worst thing of them all? For me it was the fear of losing all my friends in class. Keep in mind that we humans are very resilient and can cope with most situations in life. Of course I won't like to lose all my friends, but it won't kill me either. After you mentally accepted the worst case scenario, you will feel a huge relief and can start enjoying life again. If your mind has accepted the worst case, it will stop worrying about all the little things and the lesser scenarios. Back in school I didn't know this technique and actually had to repeat a year in school. But of course I survived it. Yeah, I lost some of my friends, but also got to know some new friends. And it turned out that some girls in my new class really liked me. So after all, it wasn't that bad. So, if you look at it, it is true. Worrying is useless. It is a truly pointless activity. There is a final technique which I really had to cultivate since I had moved out of my parents' home. Because most people, including my family, don't make use of it. It is called don't cry over spilled milk. We all know this technique, but usually people don't make use of it. Actually, my mother talks a lot about a car accident she had. No one got injured, just some car body damage. She says it wasn't her fault, that it was the other driver's fault, that the police officers treated her unfairly, and that she worries a lot that something like that might happen again. In the end, she had to pay $500 to fix her own car. She complains about it a lot. It seems that this is her favorite story to tell and complain about when someone is talking about traffic, fairness in life, or even motorsport. Today I'm amused by it, but she just keeps telling this story and complaining about the other driver whenever possible. But this car accident happened more than 10 years ago. Yes, 10 years ago. So don't become like my mom, don't worry, and don't cry over car accidents or over spilled milk. Thanks for watching.